It probably started with skateboarding. My sister had a longboard, I guess, just around the house, and I started riding that when I was like 4 or 5. And I skateboarded pretty much through elementary school, middle school. Around middle school, I ended up going to a school where I was the only person who skateboarded there. I didn't know anyone else who skateboarded. And I kind of like took that personally as like part of my identity. And you know how skateboarders dress a certain way. That bridged the gap between like skateboarding and fashion. Fashion is way bigger here than in any other part of the US. New York City is just so like huge and like special of a city. It's so like bustling with like so many interesting things going on. The most interesting thing I had to do where I grew up was like go to the mall and like walk around in circles. Yeah, this is, I guess, just somewhere I keep random stuff that I don't need as much. Like some of my film cameras, tripods, toys, audio interfaces, piano. I have some guitars down there. My guitar amps and pedal setup down here at the bottom. I have a trifold poster board, just like the ones you see at science fairs, that I use as a background backing for when I shoot my clothing. And I use this ring light to light the clothing when I'm shooting product photos. Shitload of skateboards. I break a lot of decks, as usual. These are just some decks that my boy Roy made. That is April Yuta Horigami deck. That's the one he used when he won the gold medal at the Olympics in Japan. I am currently skating this cute anime frog deck. Box of books. Here's a fun one. Raf Simons Redux. This probably goes for like $400 to $500 online. And it's essentially just like a catalog, an article of all of Raf Simons' older work. This is my room, a bit messy. Not usually this messy. This is where I do like my day-to-day coding work. Opposed to the rest of the stuff I own, this is the part of my room that looks most like any regular like software engineer's like workstation. That's an old like artisanal Margiela sweater that I just think makes a really good art piece. That isn't actually an art piece by Jonathan Monk. It's called My Mother Cleaning My Father's Piano. So if you can actually read piano sheet music, you will notice it looks like someone cleaning a piano and not playing music. What tends to sell pretty slowly are blazers, because not a lot of people are buying high fashion blazers at resale anyways. This is like a fancy little Rick blazer. You can't tell from the blazer itself, but it fits super like slim and like tight, and it has this like edgy look. On the opposite end of that is like this big 80s like Balenciaga blazer, big boxy shoulders, big oversized fit. Pretty much opposite end of the spectrum in terms of styling. Big like $3,000 to $4,000 Carol Christian Puel vest. PERLIN Noise was something I started because I had a lot of free time in COVID. The website was a way for me to do kind of a two birds, one stone kind of thing, and both add something to my coding portfolio and also sell clothing or present clothing in a more cooler way. To me, PERLIN Noise is just a showcasing of my personal tastes, what I think is cool, what I like to wear. I'm really just trying to stay ahead of like what's trendy, and what's trendy is always changing. In 2019 was when I first got into modeling. Before 2019, actually even before 2021, I never even like thought of myself as a model or like that I could do modeling at all. I didn't know anything about modeling. In 2019, I was just out in Washington Square Park when model scout and casting director kind of like came up to me and was like, hey, we need someone for a fashion show next week. And I was like, can you come to the casting? So that was the first time I did the casting. I just kind of like came, I met models, I like talk to people about modeling, and that kind of put the spark in my head, like, huh, maybe I can do this. And then I started like shooting with some photographers. I did like one shoot with Moschino. I met like Tyra Banks and like Gigi Hadid and all that stuff. In terms of skateboarding and fashion, it's obviously connected. There's obviously a tie. There's obviously a subset of fashion that ties in to skateboarding or draws from skateboarding, or certain parts of fashion get inspiration from skateboarding and vice versa. As far as the skate scene in New York City, the types of tricks you see people doing like at skate parks also opens your eyes a bit, makes you more willing to do harder things, do more tricks, be more creative. It's kind of like the fashion scene, because it kind of raises your standard in fashion, it kind of raises your standard in skateboarding, you know, just being around those kind of people. Fat Kid was my favorite skate park for a while, mostly because I like lived next to it. I used to live kind of over by Atlantic Avenue for a few years in Boerum Hill. Then I lived in Fort Greene for a bit. Even though I moved out of the area, this is still kind of one of my favorite parks because it's just really, it's not too big, not too small, the obstacles. It's pretty balanced out. There's like medium level vert sections, street sections. Oh my god, that's scary. I'm really glad we're skating alone because some people get really annoyed at how much wax I use. To be honest, probably the thing I like the most about skateboarding is that it's easy to just pick up and do. It's something that you can just go out and do on your own without any like organization from other people. Yeah, okay, here's your mistake. You're leaning too far backwards. Yeah, stay center of the board. It's brought me to a lot of different parts of the city. It's introduced me to a lot of friends and people I know. It's really good for building community. I did come to New York and get like a really good appreciation for art, so it probably like brushed off onto different aspects of like my hobbies and like things I do. If I had like a vision for how my general future life would be, it'd be nice to kind of break away from corporate work. It'd be nice to be able to sustain myself by both selling clothes and modeling. So as of now, those are kind of the things I focus on.